This is the ADISTAR EDB001 electric dirt bike, and my first twist of the throttle told me two things right away. It feels like a real mini-moto, and it pulls harder than I expected for something aimed at teens. I've been riding it on packed dirt, mown grass, and a local gravel path with a few short climbs, and I want to share what actually stood out, what didn't, and who I think will love it. Key features that matter in daily riding are the 48-volt, 22.5 amp-hour lithium battery, a brushless motor rated to a 3,000-watt peak with a claimed 200 Newton-meters of torque, hydraulic disc brakes, and a 14-inch front/12-inch rear wheel setup. If you're new to this, torque is simply the twisting force the motor can deliver. More torque means stronger push from a stop or up hills. There are 3 speed modes: 12, 17, and a claimed 37 miles per hour, and a simple HD display that shows speed and battery. The lights and brake light are not just decoration. They're bright enough to be useful at dusk. From my experience, the acceleration in the middle mode feels perfect for learning. The throttle response is smooth, not jumpy, and there's a predictable ramp when you roll on. In the highest mode, it wakes up. On flat hardpack with my GPS, I saw mid-30s miles per hour without crouching. And it gets there quickly. On a short, loose climb I use for testing, it powered up with momentum. If I bogged the front wheel in gravel, I had to shift my weight and get back on the throttle because the small rear wheel can spin up easily. That's typical of 12-inch rears, lots of punch, but you need to keep the tire planted. Once I adjusted body position and tire pressure, traction improved a lot. The suspension feels like a proper full setup for this size. Stout enough to keep its line over washboard and roots at trail speeds, without feeling like a pogo stick. It's not a long-travel enduro by any stretch, but it's far better than the basic spring-only forks you see on cheaper pit e-bikes. I could carry pace over chattery sections without losing control of the bars and land low curbs or small roll-offs without bottoming. On faster chop, the small wheels remind you they're small. They're agile and fun in turns, but they transmit more of the trail into your hands and feet if you get too ambitious. In my opinion, it shines on smoother dirt, bermed park paths, and grass fields, and it's less happy in rocky, technical terrain. Braking is a highlight. The hydraulic discs bite cleanly with a short lever throw and good modulation, meaning I can feather speed precisely without locking up. After a quick bed-in ride, I felt confident doing repeated stops from top speed on asphalt. For a teen-focused e-dirt bike that can clear 30 miles per hour, that stopping power matters. The battery system is where this bike sets itself apart from the old lead-acid pit bikes. Lithium is lighter, for the same energy, and keeps voltage more consistent as you discharge. There's a BMS on board. That's a battery management system, basically a guardrail that balances cells and protects against overcharge or deep discharge. On mixed riding in Mode 2 with occasional blasts in Mode 3, I got several hours of stop-and-go play and around 25 to 35 miles before the display dipped low enough that I wanted a charge. Riding mellow in the lowest mode stretches range a lot. Chasing top speed and hill repeats cuts it down fast. The included 3A charger took me roughly 6 hours from near empty to full, which matches the specs. It's not a quick splash and go pit stop, so plan your sessions. Fit and feel are teen first, adult possible. I'm 5'9", and the cockpit felt compact but workable. The published fit of 5'3" inches to 5'11" lines up with my experience. Standing up in the pegs is comfortable. Seated is a tighter bend at the knees than a full-size bike, and the saddle has more cushion than it looks. The frame is aluminum, the plastics are decent, and the cable routing is tidy enough that nothing snagged during wheel-to-wheel turns. Weight-wise, it's not a feather. On paper, it's around 54 kilograms, and you feel that when lifting the rear to load it or spin it around in a garage. On trail, the weight is carried low, so it doesn't feel clumsy once you're moving. Assembly was straightforward. I mounted the bar, front wheel, and fender, checked rotor alignment, set lever angles, and torqued fasteners. The included tools work, but I used my own torque wrench and hex set to be safe. If you're new, take an extra minute to set chain tension, pump tires to your preferred PSI, and center the calipers. These small steps make a big difference in the first ride. Noise is a clean electric whir plus chain noise, quiet enough for neighborhood use without annoying anyone. That's a huge plus if you'd rather avoid a gas pit bike's sound and maintenance. Speaking of maintenance, after a few rides, I rechecked spokes, bolts, and chain slack. Nothing dramatic loosened, which is a good sign. The platform looks familiar to me. Common pit e-bike architecture. so finding pads, chains, levers, and even controllers down the road shouldn't be a problem if you ever need replacements. It's nice when a fun toy doesn't turn into a parts hunt. Now the limits. The small wheels and short wheelbase make it twitchier at the very top speed off-road. It's exciting, but you need a smooth surface to really enjoy 30+ miles per hour. If you weigh closer to the 264-pound limit, plan to ride in the lower modes on rough ground to keep the suspension in its comfort zone. The Charger is fine, not fast. If you want 2 long sessions in one day, you might need a midday top-up or a second battery if the design allows swaps. Also, check your local rules. This isn't street legal, and 37 miles per hour is serious speed. Wear a helmet, gloves, and eye protection. And for new riders, start in the lowest mode and practice braking drills. That's perfect for teens 14+ who want the feel of a real dirt bike without gas hassle, and for adults who fit the size range and want a playful pit-style e-moto for backyard laps, park paths, or mellow dirt. From my experience, the 3-mode setup lets a new rider build confidence safely, and the top mode keeps it interesting once skills grow. The brakes and suspension create a real margin for error, which is exactly what I want when handing a throttle to someone learning. I'd recommend this for families who want the capable, quiet off-road bike for practice sessions, for riders who value torque and simplicity over long technical trail days, and for anyone who likes the idea of a compact, punchy e-dirt bike that feels sorted out of the box. If your priority is all-day range at high speed on rough trails, or you need a bigger chassis, you'll outgrow this and should look at larger-wheeled, higher-voltage platforms. In my opinion, the ADISTAR EDB001 nails the real bike feel in a teen-friendly package. Strong motor, predictable handling, legit brakes, and a battery that supports actual riding, not just a quick spin around the yard. The trade-offs are the usual ones for a mini platform. Small wheels, a tight cockpit for taller riders, and charging that takes a few hours. That said, the fun-per-minute ratio is high, and the learning curve is gentle. In conclusion, I had a blast with it, and it delivered more performance than I expected from a 1412 setup. If you're shopping for a first electric dirt bike that can grow with a rider from cautious laps to confident sprints, this checks the right boxes. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe, drop your questions or your own ride notes in the comments, and I'll try to cover them in a future video. Thank you for watching.